On Pandora, we know heroes who fight for their people, for Awa, and for nature. Jake Sully, Neytiri, and their family are symbols of virtue and harmony. But what if we look at the other side, at a man who personifies war, revenge, and hatred? Colonel Miles Quaritch, a man who never backs down, never gives up, and who even managed to return from the dead. His story is gritty, bloody, and full of questions. So, who is Quaritch really? Hi everyone, welcome to my new video. My name is Nicole, and today we will talk about Colonel Miles Quaritch. I hope you will enjoy this video, and if so, please don't forget to subscribe to support me and support this channel. And if you want to see more of Avatar world and learn more about the characters, just take a look at my Avatar playlist. Let's dive in. Small warning, this video contains spoilers. Colonel Miles Quaritch had a military career on Earth before being sent to Pandora. He was sent as the head of the security forces of the Resources Development Administration, also called RDA. The scars on his face, the deep gashes over his eye, are not just a causal decoration. They come from his first encounter with the Pandoran beast. There, he developed the conviction that Pandora must be conquered or destroyed. And that's how Miles Quaritch approaches everything: the planet, its inhabitants, and also the people who serve him. He is tough and uncompromising. For him, there is only discipline, order, and combat. And when we first hear his famous line, "You're not in Kansas anymore, you're on Pandora," it clearly shows how he sees the world, as a war zone. In the first part of Avatar, he appears as the main military adversary. He is obsessed with protecting human interests and mainly the mining of unobtainium. Unobtainium is an ore that has a really high value for human society. It is superconductive at room temperature, which means that it could revolutionize the efficiency of energy transfer and enable technologies that are not yet possible in our world. For example, levitating trains. It is also rare because it's only found on Pandora. Hatred for the Na'vi is natural to him. He does not consider them to be equal beings, but only an obstacle. But what is interesting is that firstly, he had a friendly relationship with Jake Sully. He even offers him new legs in exchange for espionage. In case you didn't know, Jake Sully in his human body was on a wheelchair. This perfectly demonstrates Quaritch's pragmatism. Jake is supposed to bring him new information, and in return, Quaritch gives him the opportunity to return to a fully functional human body. But once Jake joins the Na'vi side, Quaritch takes it personally. He commands an attack on their home tree. It is one of the most tragic scenes in the entire film. And in the final battle, as he pilots his gigantic AMP suit, there is an iconic confrontation between him, Jake, and Neytiri. Quaritch is eventually killed by Neytiri, who shoots him through with arrows. This might seem like the end of the story, but it's not. In the second movie, Avatar: The Way of the Water, he returns. And how? Thanks to the recombinant program. The RDA backed up his consciousness, his memories, and his identity. Then they inserted this data into a genetically created Na'vi avatar. Quaritch literally wakes up in a foreign body. He is stronger, faster, bluer, but he is still supposed to be him. His goal does not change: to neutralize Jake Sully. Because for Quaritch, Jake is the cause of his death. Even though he has a new body, his military mindset remains the same. He leads a mission, fights, and constantly seeks revenge. But in Avatar 2, we see one more essential line, and that is the relationship with Spider. Miles Socorro, nicknamed Spider, is Quaritch's biological son. He was born on Pandora as the child of a soldier who died and could not be evacuated back to Earth because he was a baby. So he stayed among the Na'vi and gradually grew up among them. When Quaritch learns that Spider is his son, it's not an easy relationship. Spider rejects him and hates him. But at the same time, a special bond begins to form between them. Quaritch has never been a father in a true sense of the word. But Spider shows him for the first time what it means to have responsibility for someone else. In the very end, Spider rescues Quaritch. He takes Quaritch outside of his military role for the first time. Quaritch is no longer just a commander and soldier, but he's also a father. And here we get to the core of his character. Quaritch is the embodiment of a soldier who knows nothing about war. He sees everything through the lens of survival, discipline, and victory. But in the second part, it is all changing. His Navi body allows him to experience things he's never known before. The classic villain begins to become more complicated character. And what will happen next? Director James Cameron confirmed that Quaritch will be the main antagonist until Avatar 5. Which is like a huge spoiler for a bunch of films that haven't come out yet, but whatever. So it means we shouldn't expect a one-off villain, but a character that will evolve. We can expect his relationship with Spider to become increasingly important, and we may even reach a point where Quaritch will have to choose between his loyalty to the RDA and what he experiences as the Navi. The soldier who hated Pandora may become a man who understands it. Also, it looks like that his relationship with Varang will be deeper than we expected, and I just wonder how much of their relationship we will see. Quaritch is a warning against blind obedience to the system. He shows us what happens when one sacrifices humanity for war. He is a figure that reflects the worst aspects of humanity: aggression, greed, and the desire for control, but at the same time, he also has the possibility of change. And that is what makes him a fascinating antagonist. Quaritch fights not only against Jake and Neytiri, but also against himself. While the heroes seek a path to harmony, he represents destruction. But his story is far from over, and maybe in next films, we will be surprised, because even the toughest soldier can find a way back to humanity, or on the contrary, became an even bigger threat than he ever was. And that will be all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what do you think about Quaritch in comments, and I'll be looking forward to see you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye!